Okay, first, before we begin, a little bit of commentary. The objective here is for me to video the build of the RedBot following along this manual. This manual is the RedBot build manual for the RRS, Riverside Robotic Society, and at the top line there's the two red links, and then next to it it says edited by Phil McCary III on 10/6/2014. So that is the document I'm following. If you follow along with that, it's a PDF file, of course, you can download. And particularly if you're associated with the Riverside Robotic Society and are going to do this particular build, which is the RedBot with the wheel encoder. So, moving from that, we want to attempt to do sort of a loose check of what's in the boxes, a loose check against the bill of materials. Well, there isn't a formal bill of materials that I have access to right now at this time. So let's see what we have. We have two red boxes from SparkFun. The main one, of course, is the RedBot, and then the extras. The extras that should be in this box are the jumper wires sets recommended by Phil and the wheel encoder. So, not having a formal bill of materials, I've familiarized myself a bit with the document, and if a particular screw is missing, I'll probably miss it and find out later, but in general, we'll see that all the parts should be there. Now, a friend told me that she got a SparkFun RedBot kit, and some of the parts were in fact missing. That was the bad news. After much head scratching, the builder had to admit that some parts just weren't there. That's the bad news. The good news is that the company responded very quickly and got the necessary parts that should have been in the kit. So, opening up our SparkFun boxes, let's see what we have and if we can familiarize ourselves with the parts. This one's real basic. Two wheels, or wheels and tires if you want to be precise about it. The two drive motors, apparently these are DC geared motors. Two of them, one for each wheel. This looks like our main board with our processor on it and all of our connections. We have some jumpers that come in the kit itself. More on jumpers later. Here are the sensors. These are the line following sensors. It looks like there are 3 of them in here. Yes, 3 line following sensors. And another unknown sensor. We'll find out what that is, if in fact it's a sensor. Anyway, it's a small board with a plug on it that's a lot taller than the 3 line following sensors. We have the attachments that go on the axles for sensing. The wheel encoder will use these as they go past. The falling edges will be detected, it says in the documentation. And these are motor mount parts. You can also tell from the documentation. You get a small screwdriver in the kit, very handy. Of course, keep it for future projects. And the rear caster to the robot. So it's basically it's omnidirectional. It'll turn in any direction. Slick little design to use with the 2 front wheels. Here we have fasteners and standoffs. It's looking pretty positive that we'll have all the parts we need to make the robot, build the robot. Here's the battery tray. Have to power it. And the two large boards to the robot. Clearly the bottom board with the wheel cutouts. I don't know if you can see these. Let me cut this one open. Since there's no electronic components to protect. And if you're brand new to working with electronics, of course, you will quickly learn to care about static electricity protecting against it, or you may risk frying something and being very sad and have to either troubleshoot it or buy it again. So this would appear to be the bottom board, a plexi, Lexan, some kind of plastic, and then what I believe is the upper board, so two boards. It is kind of a two-decker affair with the processor board on top of that. So that's the first box. We seem to have a complete kit, at least that's my guess so far. And here are the extras, and I'll remove the paper. We don't really need that. We've got a special standoff that was machined by Phil. More on that later. And removing the box from the camera view. And packaged by SparkFun are the extras. Here is the wheel encoder board that we are going to build in. This is probably the biggest single addition we're using in the RRS build. And then additional jumpers for connecting things together. Okay, let's set out some parts into our trusty egg carton here so we can find them when we need them. This is a special, so I'll leave this in the plastic bag. On page 3 of the manual, it talks about the slightly longer screws, the comparison between, let's see, these for the wheel encoder and the standard one. So I'm going to keep these screws separate also for when the encoder is assembled. But for ease of getting to them, I'm going to distribute these guys out into the egg carton. Okay, following from page 4 in the manual, this is the way the fasteners and parts broke out from the kit. We've got the 3 little packages of the shorter screws. We've got the medium-sized round standoffs, large hex standoffs, the long screws with the beveled heads on them, the short round standoffs, and 4 nuts. This is separate. This is from the encoder. I kept the encoder in its plastic bag over here, but it's got the 2 slightly longer screws and the 4 nuts. And again from page 4, it says locate the 2 screws in the hole. The size of this plastic doesn't matter because it's equal. So we'll locate this screw here and this screw in the adjustment slot. Alright, we've got the nuts placed on here, and per the manual it says just give it a twist. I can simply hold the nut with my fingertip behind it and tighten it up, and we're set till later.